I'm Admirals play-by-play announcer Aaron Sims, and today we're checking in with Admirals forward Cal O'Reilly. We talked with Troy Grosnick recently, Cal, and you played with him last year in Lehigh Valley. But it's so neat to see guys that meant so much in Milwaukee and vice versa. Milwaukee meant so much to them now coming back and being part of this team in the 23-24 campaign. How excited are you?
I'm back to where it all started for me, my pro hockey career, and I have so many memories and good experiences, and people that helped me out when I was really young coming into pro hockey. And I'm just super excited to come back with my family and live in Milwaukee and play for the Admirals again.
It's you were one of the guys that stuck around in the summers here and there back then. I mean, you understood the summers, you understood the community. Not a lot of younger guys like were in your position. Not a lot of younger guys really got that experience. Took it upon themselves to have that experience. I know you were here a couple of weeks ago looking around. How much has it changed?
A lot. It's growing, and especially the suburbs and everything. We were out there a lot, and we actually made it to Summerfest for one night and saw Zach Bryan, which was amazing. And but it still felt like the Milwaukee when I was there. Third Ward and all that area. Went to my favorite restaurant, the Calderon Club. It's still there, and it was just great to be back and see a lot of familiar faces and get back to the city.
Can you be a hockey player coming through Milwaukee and not have the Calderon Club as your favorite restaurant?
Yeah, never.
everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
And you know what? You had what, two years in Iowa?
Yep.
So I know those folks in Iowa, they were all about it. Every time they come here, they're always about the Calderon Club.
Yeah. Every time we played, you guys, when I was with Iowa, we were in there every night before the game.
You look back at your career, and I mean, you still how much you got left in the tank?
You know what? My body feels great. Knock on wood. Physically, and as long as my body holds up and I can still play, I can be a good player in the AHL. I'll keep going. It's year by year, but I still have that drive. I still love training, get ready in the summers, and I still love the game. And until that goes away, or my body tells me I can't, I'll keep going year by year here.
Yeah, and you know what? You keep going. You hear it so often. Keep going until nobody wants you anymore, right? When you stop getting invited, that's when you leave.
Exactly.
So when it came down to it, when free agency happens, what were you thinking? Was this in mind? Did this come up at the last sec? I mean, what kind of offers were out there for you, and why was this the right one for you?
Well, over the years, it's almost happened a couple times. We've had talks with Nashville and Milwaukee and Scott Nickel about coming back. Other times have been a free agency, and then obviously this year it happened again, and we worked it out, and it was a no-brainer for me, and especially my brother going to Nashville. It just seemed like the right time to come back, and I'm super excited, and I'm just glad that it did eventually work out so that I could come back to where it all started for me.
I was really hoping when we saw you playing for Iowa and you were doing such good things against the Admirals in the playoffs, I thought, boy, oh boy, if we could get Cal right now. And when it didn't happen, and it's free agency, right? There's 32 teams out there. Well, now 32 teams. But I'm like, boy, oh boy, it would have been so great. And I got to tell you, I was crushed and I don't know if you were offered at that point or not, but I was just crushed that you went out to Lehigh Valley and didn't come to Milwaukee because I'm like, boy, Cal's the one that can put you over the top.
Yeah, yeah, it almost happened, and it just it turned out that we made the decision to go there, and I had four good years there, and basically all my kids kind of grew up there. But I'm just super excited to bring them to a city that I love, and my wife is super excited because I've always talked about how great of a city and how many great people there are in Milwaukee, and how well you're treated there, and so she's super excited as well, and we can't wait to get back.
You were also one of the guys that had some relationships off the ice with people around town rather than just the guys in the locker room. So I'm curious if you've kept in touch with all those people over the years.
Yeah, what, a few of them, and when I was back last weekend, I sent some texts out to see if they were still around the area, and a lot of them were. So we met up with a couple of them, and and then just it's funny. There's still a decent amount of hockey people that live there. in the summer. So, there's a lot of people around that either I played with or against that are in the area. So it's just a great spot for people to settle down, I think, and that's why they're there.
I'm curious how much you know Scott Ford, obviously. I'm curious how much you know about coaching staff and all of this coming in. Have you had
Yeah,
conversations with them? Do you talk with them once you sign all of that stuff?
I've talked to me and Fordo have kept in touch over the years, and playing against you guys when I was with Milwaukee or Iowa, and
Yeah.
that, and he's said great things. And Greg, I played against him, I'm sure, many times
Oh yeah.
back when he was playing. And then I have talked with Carl. I didn't know Carl. I heard good things about him from Porto and everything, but I didn't know him until I had a conversation with him a few days ago. We had a good chat, and that was really my first introduction to him personally. But um, yeah, it seems like great coaching staff, and it seems what they're trying to do there and how they run things is done very well, and it's a great environment for me to come into.
So Barry Trotz said something along the lines of you're going to be mentoring guys, but at the same time, I'm sure you want to be the point of game guy and want to find an NHL. I mean, everybody still wants to play in the NHL no matter what, right?
Yeah, I mean, being a mentor and a good leader and helping guys, that's something I've had to do. And part of it, being an older guy for a lot of years now, because I've been, especially in the American League at 30, 32, you're an old guy. So
Right.
I've been doing that for a lot of years. But, I wouldn't be still playing if I didn't think I could be a good player in the American League. If I felt that I couldn't keep up or couldn't perform at a high level, I don't think I'd still be playing. So I still think I have gas left in the tank to contribute in all aspects of the game, and that's what I plan to do to lead that way at first, and then being a leader and teaching and help guys with things I know and help then develop their pro game is something that comes with it and that I enjoy doing and I'll do as well.
Yeah, it's been about a dozen years since you were a regular in Milwaukee. I'm just curious to what you remember, what stands out from you your first time around in Milwaukee with the Admirals.
Yeah, I mean, when I came from junior and I was 18, just how awesome that team was with Pekka, Hadar, Gamache. I think we had Toots, Scotty Upshall was on the
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Oh, geez,
Well, think
there's
of your defensemen. The defensemen in the playoffs that year were Greg Zanin, Shea Weber, Sheldon Brookbank, Rick Barry was there.
yeah,
Who am I missing? Kevin Klein.
Kleiner, yeah,
Just unbelievable defensive core.
yeah, yeah. That team was so good, and coming up, and I got to play in the playoffs and a little bit, and that I think was a huge part for me for the following year when I came in with. I think Claude Noel was a great coach for me my first year. He understood me and didn't try to change me, and he really helped me grow other aspects of my game. And those are things that I really remember as that team, especially just how good they were, and it was just a big part for me coming to Milwaukee.
I remember when you came in and I asked Claude about what kind of player you were, and he said he reminds me a lot of Tony Herkus, and I thought that was about as great a compliment because Herc was a guy who got the job done, um, brilliant player on the ice, and the smartest guy on the ice, and I think the years have bared out that has been indeed the case with you. You're the smartest guy on the ice, and I look back at that your first season as a pro was my first season in the American League. And I'm so
Yeah,
fortunate to think that probably the two smartest players I've ever been around were on the same team with you and Darren Hadar. It was pretty amazing to think
yeah,
about.
yeah. He was a Hadar, and he was just so fun to watch, especially when I was that young. And then he went to Chicago. We had to play him all the time.
Right.
That wasn't very fun. But I learned a lot from him, and I got to know being around Milwaukee and a little bit in the summers. I got to know Tony very well too, and he would come on skate with us. And still, I think he made a comeback when he was 40,
He did
low 40. Remember he went to Houston.
in the
He went
playoffs with
to
Houston in
Houston.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
beat us in 7 in the second or third round, and I think he had like almost a point a game at 40
Yeah.
something, and I
Yeah.
remember just skating with him in the summers and stuff, and he was still just so smart and just a genius out there.
That's Lane Lambert. Yeah, whenever you get to talk to him, he always says about Milwaukee that he left two on the table. Like he thought that '09
Yeah,
team was something
yeah,
special and 11 too. But '09, '09, you look at it, it's yourself and Hornquist and Ryan Jones. And
yeah.
oh my goodness, what a team.
Yeah, we had a great team that year. I think we did Santarelli too, right? He was with us
Yeah,
that year.
yeah, Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre, yeah, phenomenal team.
Fire, yeah, Yonks and Porto, and I'm missing so many guys, but yeah, there's a couple years that we had great teams and we just didn't close it out in the next round.
What is summers like for you now? And I'm curious about getting on the ice and how you've changed as you've aged and what you've learned. You've always been a strong fitness guy, no matter what. But I'm just curious if things have changed for you as you've gotten older, or have you've gotten more experienced? Maybe is the key word there.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously as you get older, you want to keep all your fast twitch stuff going and your speed up as best you can and your footwork. So I really focus on that, and I've learned. I think when I was young, the big thing was lift as heavy as you can and do that. And that when I was younger gave me a lot of back problems. I had to have two back surgeries at one point in a year and a half, and so just training a little smarter in that department and being careful of my back and things like that have helped me. And then really focusing on speed. And I like to get on the ice a lot now, especially early in the summer, and staying on the ice and working on things that way. And then building it up to more intensity as you get closer to the end of the summer. But I'm definitely on the ice a lot more than I think I was when I was younger.
And you drag the kids out with you then?
Yeah, my wife usually brings them when I'm done, and they come on and rip around a little bit. They're still just kind of walking around the ice, but they love it.
That's it's so different, right? I mean, you think about where you were when you started your pro career, and now you're the guy that's going to have kids around the locker room and all. I mean, it's pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah, it is. And when you're young, you don't realize how quick it goes when you see those guys that are older and at the end of their careers with their kids running around, and it's pretty special when they can see that and see you play. And my kids last few years, they love going in the locker room, see all the boys, meet all the boys, see the boys, and they just love it.
It's it is so special. I just you think about it, right? Like your kids are to the age where they're going to start to remember what dad did
Yeah.
and how important dad was to the teammates and all of that stuff. There are some lessons there. It's pretty neat to pass along.
Oh, 100%. And I'm glad that I'm still playing, that my kids can see it and will understand it more and more as they get older. It's something special. And I always wanted that. When I was a young guy, I would see guys playing with their kids coming in the locker room and the jersey on and all that. I really hoped I would get to do that when I was older. And so far I have been.
So do your kids have like Troy Grosnick jokes that his oldest is Connor Ingram is his favorite goalie? Have you had situations like that where the kids like somebody maybe like the Bobby Brink a little bit better than dad or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, they're still a little young, but they definitely have their favorites of guys they like, especially my middle daughter, Kala. She had the hockey cards, and it was Bobby, Yorkie, all these guys. She would know them all, and those were her favorites.
That's tremendous. Cal, it's great to see you. It's great to talk to you. We hope you have a good rest of the summer. Enjoy training camp. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's right around the corner here already, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's good to chat with you, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Very good. That's Cal O'Reilly.